What if you could have a team of Claude Code agents working while you relax? Claude Code agents was released 2 months ago, but majority of the people is still sleeping on them. So by the end of this video, not only would you learn how to use Claude Code agents, but you also learn how to create some for yourself.
First, we'll explain what the f are Claude Code agents. Then we'll actually go ahead and use 3 agents that I've built for today's video. Then we'll make an agent for a custom purpose. And finally, at the end, we'll walk you through some use cases that you can use Claude Code agents for.
We'll use these agents to come up with a TikTok strategy for our creator to our favorite vibe coding tool, Lovable. So we'll do Lovable versus bolt.new versus Replit. And towards the end, we'll even make some pretty cool TikTok scripts so then you can test this for yourself. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Talk nerdy to me, yeah, break it all down. Binary code or theories profound. Talk nerdy to me.
So what even are Claude Code agents? Well, to be technically correct, these are called subagents by Anthropic. They were released 2 months ago, and there's a lot of complex stuff about why they're useful for you. But let's really break it down into 3 key values for you as a person. First, they help you save time by actually enabling parallel tasks so that you don't have to watch the computer think away for minutes and minutes and minutes. They're actually smarter because they do this really useful task where each of these agents or sub-agents manages its own memory or context so that it doesn't pollute the overall LLM call and get confused. And finally, you can actually give these agents specialized skills through custom prompts so that they're smarter yet. So you become smarter, have better memory, and save a ton of time.
So it's like basically having one of Tame and then one of me in your squad, even though we're physically not there.
Exactly. And you can call upon us however you want, back and forth, all working in parallel.
Yeah, we're just like slaves.
Just
Hey,
slaves,
are you
basically.
available? Like now.
Exactly like when we were back at Deloitte Tax David as grads and the partner would call us at 5 p.m. on Friday to get us all to do work for him. That's exactly what it's
You're
like.
available. It's like, we need this now. Why couldn't you tell me at 9?
Nope, nope, nope. And can you have it done by midnight? So there's your Friday night.
It's like, you.
Here we are in Cursor or any IDE where we actually have the agent files and the agent configurations.
And on the GitHub side of things, we have put all of the resources in the Substack link below. And because Tame is using some of our previous MCP servers that Tame has built previously, all of those resources will be included in Substack and also in our previous videos.
Yeah, exactly. But let's get stuck into what makes up an agent. So the first thing first, we have a name. This is our Meta Ads Library agent. Now, what I basically prompted Claude here to do is create an agent that's really smart at analyzing Facebook ad campaigns. And so it has a very deep description of what this is so that the agent knows, or Claude Code knows when to pick it up. The other thing we have is obviously a list of the tools that David mentioned. And here we can see we have our MCP Facebook ad library tools, like get meta ads and analyze ad image. You can get it to inherit a model or you can force it to use one of the smarter models. Now, I always prefer to make it inherit because it will use up a lot of your Claude subscription. And finally, you can assign it a color blue, which is really, really important when you actually look at the Claude Code prompt we're about to run, because you can enable a bunch of different colors for each of your agents and know when to call upon it. Now, here you can see the deeper sort of prompt to run Claude Code or run this Meta Ads Library agent. So it's an elite competitive intelligence agent specializing in Facebook meta ads. Here are your core capabilities. Here's your analysis framework. Here's your output structure. It's really, really important, really, really deep. And the cool thing is, this is a meta ads library agent. I said, hey, I want to go deep and explore Google Ads Library. So I have the same thing here. And I've actually used a website intel agent, which is using this other MCP called Firecrawl. If you're curious, we can set this up as well and do a separate video about this. But it'll actually go to a brand's website, extract all the information, like all the messaging, imaging they're using, and then bring it all together with this Google Ads Library and Meta Ads Library MCP. Okay, so I've opened Claude Code, and I'm going to dump in sort of this pre-baked prompt we made and hit enter. So what I've asked Claude Code to do here is to go and look at Lovable, bolt.new, and Replit, take their meta ads and give 3 dot points for each and put it into a text file. And you can see here it's kicked off the meta ads library thing with the blue, with the
Mm.
blue agent, and it's going ahead and doing its thing.
So the blue just helps basically identify the agent that's currently in progress. So the colors, that's the use case.
Exactly, exactly.
Now, while our Claude Code agent army is doing its thing, we would really appreciate it if you enjoy this video, like and subscribe. I think that is like the cheapest way to actually help us continue to make some of these videos. So we really appreciate it if you can do that.
All right, so it's actually done. Let's hop in. It's done a lot of things. Um, so first things first, it's gone through all of these companies. So just to be clear, it ran for about 8 minutes. We've fast forwarded through that. If you look at the logs of this, it has run about 20 concurrent meta ads library agents. It's
Mm.
a lot of context we've just munched through here, about 82,500 tokens. But it's written up a full text analysis file here that it can save, and I've told it to do this so it maintains a bit of context. But let's just dive into the dot points here, David, really quickly. So
Mm.
lovable.dev, messaging is very no code, no templates, position with production ready apps, target users, non-technical founders building MVP. There's some key video hooks. Less than 1% of people know how to code. Same for Bolt, same for Replit. There's a lot that's just happened. Now this is wild because if we had done this as one big call, technically, Claude Code could have just done this with MCP, but it wouldn't have
Mm.
extracted out things as deeply and as well as it did. And it probably would have spun out and not been able to manage the context really well. So it would not have been
Mm.
able to make sense of all of this and return it to you in a really cohesive way. And you remember those moments where you give ChatGPT a really long prompt, you've teased at it, and it just gives you garbage back. This is a way to protect that.
Yeah, I think the other thing that's worth calling out is had you just do this purely on Claude Code and just ask for it for that analysis, it wouldn't also be able to understand the video. The
No.
MCP server that Tanmay built had a specific feature inside that allows, I think it's using Gemini in order to understand the videos, transcribing it, and then understanding it. So you wouldn't have been able to kind of get to this fidelity of insight. So that's also important to call out. You would just basically get very surface level insight.
Yeah, for sure. It's this is wild, but like let's take it a step further. Let's do the same now for Google Ads and the website and actually go and scrape the website using our two different agents. So here we go. Here's the next prompt. Now, really important here is I've called out in parallel. So it should do this in parallel in a really, really smart way. And let's get it going. So it's combobulating. It's also going to write this to a Google Ads analysis and website intel.txt, which is going to serve us for the next phase. And here we've got our green, which I've defined Google Ads library agent running,
Mm.
and it's kicking off simultaneously the website intel agent. So these are running in parallel. We're done. So now we're
Whoa.
here. It's gone through. I actually hit my limits, but we can see it munched through 60.3K tokens and 89.1K. So we're chatting about 150K tokens on top of what it did. It ran these all in parallel. You probably noticed in the fast forward mode, a lot was going on. It took a while, but the great thing is this is not 7 plus 4 minutes. This is 7 minutes overall because it ran
Mm.
these processes in parallel, which is you've saved about 50% of your time here. Now, if we dive in quickly, it spat out some text over here, which is breaking down everything. But if we just look at the dot points it spat out in Claude Code, down the bottom here, same sort of setup. We have for Replit.com, Google Ads, AI powered development, Bolt.new, very speed focused. Lovable has a limited Google presence, very interesting. Website analysis, messaging, build something on Lovable. Target users is not technical. Bolt.new, the messaging is what should we build today? Create stunning apps, strong integration. Now it has crawled through the full websites to understand this. Rapidly, it's much more about direct ideation to execution. So we've got these
Mm.
kind of like relevant files we can now call upon, which is really, really exciting.
That's incredible. The amount of work that's being done here would have taken like days, if not weeks, if you had a team of people just like grinding through all of these tasks. Not to mention doing the website research, reading the ads, like the possibility. Like just being able to get this in a span of like say about 10 minutes or even like 15 minutes or so, that's a huge head start for sure.
Yeah, it's wild.
Mm,
Imagine, like, while this was loading, me and David were chatting. We're saying, imagine you come into a new job week one. All you do is pay for a Claude Max subscription, maybe $200. You go and spend on, I think the free limit of scrape creators is quite good, to be honest.
mm,
You connect all these MCPs. You probably spend max 2 hours doing that, and then you go, okay, everyone in the Slack, give me a list of like three top major competitors, and you just come back with a full report end of day one with this. By the end of week one, you go through a few reps, you can come up with a full messaging strategy in our existing performance. That is wild. That is a sort of context that would take you probably weeks, months to kind of get to that point, getting the reps to look at all those ads, and you suddenly just got it on hand in a really, really
mm.
meaningful way. Now, this is great. We have all this analysis, but David, what do you think about actually taking a step further and getting it to come up with some messaging and creating a messaging agent to kind of make that happen?
Yeah, I think that'll be awesome. Like the next thing I really want to know is what's the gap? If I'm lovable, what's the gap in terms of messaging between Bolt and Replit that they've tried? If we can do some kind of gap analysis based on like on the messaging side, that would be amazing.
Let's do it. So let's spin up Claude. I'm going to do this in a separate chat just to kind of keep things clean, but let's go agent. You can say manage agent configurations. We can
Mm,
see that there's some built-in always available agents. I've set up these sort of project agents. We're going to create a new one. We're going to call it a project agent. So what this means is this saved in this folder or is this something that's used everywhere? Just for safety's sake, let's call it a project agent. We're going to generate with Claude. And we're just going to give a prompt. And this is one I've pre-baked, which is create a comprehensive messaging analysis agent. Now, funnily enough, I use Claude back and forth in a code session to come up with this. I'm going to hit enter.
mm.
It's going to generate an agent from this description. Here we go. So we can
Okay.
say what tools do we want to give it to. So those other agents, I'd constrain to certain tools. This one, I'm just going to let it do its thing and just go continue. I'm going to say inherit from the parent. So use the same model as the conversation. And then I'm going to give this, let's just say, let's give it, what color should we give it? Let's give it pink.
Mm,
So here it's got this agent. I can just hit confirmed or save. You can see the full details, but let's go enter. We now have this agent.
that's cool. That we made another agent. Is there any way that we can basically take the analysis that the agent has done and actually create a couple of TikTok scripts together with the gap analysis? I think that's like the most productive thing that a creative team will want.
Yeah, let's do it. Now, we could probably do this with a prompt, but why don't we create another agent that's very specialized and skill based?
Mm,
So, again, same thing. I'm just going to skip through this. We're going to create a new agent. Okay, so we have this really intense prompt that we've written up based on all our knowledge. It's going to create another agent based on the subscription. Let's go continue, inherit. Oh, shit, whatever. What color should we make it? Let's make it purple. Why not?
Purple, baby.
Enter. All right,
Mm,
we have some agents. Now let's come back here and let's run a full prompt. All right, here we go. We got the full prompt. It was a bit wordy, but this is a lot easier than if we had done it ourselves. And I'm gonna hit enter, and it's
I
gonna
think
read all of those
also
analyses. Yeah,
I think Tammy, it's worth actually like just briefly go to the prompt and just like explain to everyone what you
yeah.
just did.
So we saved those analyses into different text files. So I've called upon those rather than like have it stored in context. And then I said, okay, using our messaging intelligence synthesizer, explore gaps, and then write 5 TikTok scripts for fictional competitor called Bob.ai. I am Bob the
You got
Builder,
a
I thought
job to
maybe, as a
do.
vibe creating agent. Save it to a scripts.txt file, and then use the our UGC TikTok video script generator. Now, what's really interesting here is I said then because I don't want this to do it in parallel. I want it first to figure out what the messaging gaps are and then go and write the scripts. If it did it in parallel, it might use up a lot of context. It probably wouldn't do this as well. Let's do a little peek and see what it's doing underneath the hood as well, right? So it has done a full analysis. It's actually written a little feature differentiation, messaging analysis sort of thing here. So it's now done. I think Claude's taking a little while to make sense of everything. It's analyzed these scripts. Let's go into
Mm.
this text file and see what's happening. And I'm going to close. this over here.
Ex- extreme scripts.
Extreme script. Developers told me my app would take 6 months. Bob.ai, 48 hours, compliance ready, healthcare specific, zero coding. We went from idea to 50K in revenue faster than most businesses hire a developer. They guaranteed results and money back. This isn't just software, it's a business transformation. Wow. That's
That's
interesting.
that's that's pretty fucking extreme.
Did you notice what it did here? It actually rated it. It said this is a 4 out of 5 compelling completeness story and a
Mm.
simplicity 5 out of 5. So it's actually gone and scored it as well, which is really interesting. Um, Personal appeal. Let's maybe look at the hook. I'm not a tech
Mm.
guy. Every developer quote felt like another language. Bob AI translated my business vision into a working app. Social proof, legal firm, zero tech background. Bob AI built our client management platform in 72 hours. Compliance handled, security guaranteed. We're now saving 20 hours a week and added 100K in efficiency.
These are
Emotion.
really not bad. Like,
These are great.
uh,
Yeah.
I
Like
yeah, I mean, like, so it's surprisingly, it's like it's really workable.
yeah. And I think this is like the sort of thing like we could probably ask the TikTok's, agent to come back and give visual cues and whatever have you. But like just think about what it did here, right? Like we could even probably spin up another agent that says, okay, based on this, write out like a full sort of blow by blow sheet with like visual cues. You could then probably have another agent that hits like Google VO3 or ARCADS, one of these UGC generators. You could automate your whole workflow. Like every morning, every Monday morning, give me like 10 ideas based on competitors, right?
Dude.
I
Dude. That's
mean, why do what
that
why do we even need us anymore? Like it's getting to that point. Like it's kind of creepily good.
yeah. I think if you're watching this and you do want to see us kind of complete the workflow, let us know in the comment section below. I think that will be a good incentive to like really kind of push us to finish this.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, getting an iron, David. Like I feel like I would have swiped and I would have clicked on one of those videos if it came up on my
I
TikTok.
would have swiped right on some of those scripts, you know? Wait, is it left or right? Okay.
It's
Like what
actually
is
tap on a button, David, and you're getting married soon, so you should know anything about swiping right.
Yeah, yeah, I do not know anything about swiping. On a serious note, I do think that some of the scripts are actually very workable. At the same time, I do think that like the amount of prompting and the designing of those agents actually played a massive role in making those scripts actually really, really usable. So I'm actually genuinely very, very impressed by the output from these agents.
Quick wrap up on today. We walked you through what is a Claude Code agent. We taught you how to use existing agents, how to run them in parallel, create your own, and we took an analysis of Lovable, Bolt.new, and Replit all the way from analyzing raw ads all the way to creating scripts for your own ads. We've taken you on a big journey today. David, how do you feel?
I feel I feel like I really need to get my hands on this and actually try it for myself. So I feel really good. I'm actually really excited to actually give this a shot. So it feels good.
Yeah, I'm psyched.
Until next time, my name is David.
And I'm Tanmay.
See you next time.